On February 11, 2015, Battalion Chief Stephen Stafford was involved in a deadly house fire on Fairview Drive off Rocky Creek Road. The single-story brick home was fully engulfed by the time the first fire crews arrived just before 6 p.m. The people inside the home made it out safely, but the fire killed one of their own firefighters. After 2 months recovering, Stafford retired and has spent most of his time with family. Camila Williams spoke with Battalion Chief Stafford and explains how the fire 10 years ago impacts him today.
When the call came in the evening of February 11th, 2015, Stephen Stafford thought it was an ordinary fire.
Nothing really stood out.
When the Macon-Bibb County Fire Battalion Chief arrived at the brick house on Fairview Drive, everything had escalated.
The fire was in the inside of the house, down in the basement area.
Stafford remembers the fire getting hotter and a fire captain updating him.
Chief, the floor fell in and his men trapped down at the bottom of the floor.
As the fire grew, the rescue became more difficult for the firefighters and for Stafford. He took a risk by removing his breathing apparatus.
And I didn't put on a BA because if you have a BA on with the mask, verbally, nobody can understand what you're saying. You can't hear anything.
With dark smoke filling the air, he was determined to get the men out. He says when the other firefighters were safe, only one remained below. That was Lieutenant Randy Parker. Others stepped up to help pull him out.
They really supported me 100% because I was not going to leave the scene.
But Parker later died at a Macon hospital. With the last man out, Stafford was put in an ambulance and sent to the medical center, then to the Augusta Burn Center. He had severe burns on his body and smoke inhalation, putting him at a higher risk. Stafford remembers being transferred and laying in a hospital bed.
I couldn't move my left side.
He had a tube down his throat and couldn't talk, and the doctor's chatter didn't sound good.
And he explained we're going to have to do that because if you get pneumonia in your body, you're going to swell and you won't be able to breathe.
Remembering it all again, Stafford was overcome with emotion. All he knew was he needed to make it out of this alive.
And I said, Lord, I would like to be here a little longer to help my wife raise the kids and grandkids and take care of my elderly mom.
Many people came to visit him in Augusta. Friends, family, other firefighters. For 2 months, Stafford recovered. He had to learn to stand up, walk, and move around again. But the day came when he could walk down the hall and go home.
That brought big smiles on my face, and looking at all the people that had treated me, seeing them smile and everything.
Now 10 years later and retired, the battalion chief says he suffers PTSD.
I can't be around the fire stations very long because I get tight, I get a phobia.
With family and friends surrounding him, Stafford says not a day goes by where he doesn't think about the colleague he lost, a man who spent 20 years protecting his community.
Lieutenant Parker was just a good guy.
While February 11th will always be a hard day, he's happy to still be alive and spend it with those closest to him.
I am so grateful, though.
In Macon, Camila Williams, 13 WMAZ News.
Stafford retired right after his 2 months in the hospital. He then worked in real estate and now spends most of his time with his family. According to the final fire department report, the fire may have been caused by burning trash or electrical cords.